mental institutions. Nobody's ever seen it. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. They're coming in from jails and prisons and mental institutions, insane asylums. They're terrorists. I mean, you have terrorists pouring in at a level that we have not seen maybe ever. And what they're doing to our country is incredible. They're poisoning our country, and we're going to close up our border, and we're going to deport the people. We're going to get them out.
Well, I think I don't understand why people are not taking him seriously, because you read about it historically in other countries that they didn't take the people seriously. I think Hitler, Mussolini, but they're fools and clowns. Well, there will be, and I hear it. There's some people. I mean, who does not think that this guy is going to do exactly what he says he's going to do?
Right.
If he gets elected, it's going to change this country for everybody. And they might think that it's going to make their life better, or they just want to, excuse my French, literally.
Did anyone think booking Bob De Niro on a daytime TV show was gonna go smooth without a few F-bombs being dropped? I mean, come on.
It's almost like he wants to do the worst that he could possibly do to show this country. His slow.
And before self-righteous conservatives try to lecture anyone on explicit language, let's just remember that that house you're in, you know, the one ran by your cult leader, man, is that made of glass.
When you are representing the office of vice president or president, Kamala Harris dropped an F-bomb here. This is a bad pattern. It diminishes the office, and I think it turns off family audiences.
Listen, you mother.
I did try and grab him by the.
He's a.
I'm gonna bomb the out of him.
Bullshit impeachment.
Get that son of a off the field. I moved on her like a.
You mother.
Bullshit.
School built in Brooklyn.
Ridiculous bullshit.
You're not gonna raise that price.
We'll beat the shit out of them.
This is a bad pattern. It diminishes the office, and I think it turns off family audiences.
This week has been a busy one on The View, hosting notable guests who in their own way have voiced their concern regarding the possibility of a second Trump term. From ABC's George Stephanopoulos, who used his time to warn of what is considered complacency regarding how we report on Trump and how unprecedented this entire thing is, from his criminal proceedings to all of the firsts that have followed him as a president. First, to not uphold the peaceful transfer of power. First, to be on trial for paying hush money to an adult film star to influence an election, you know, the usual. And how we should never give in to this complacency and cover it for how abnormal it is.
I think the most important thing that people should understand about this election is how far from normal it is. We have never had a former president, presidential candidate, who was impeached and then indicted for trying to overturn an election. Never. Never. In all of our history. We've never had a former president, a presidential candidate, who lies about the election that he lost. Yeah. We've never had a former president, a presidential candidate, who refuses to pledge to accept the results of the next election if he lost. You know, the peaceful transfer of power is the most fundamental tenet of our democracy. Refusing to accept it, I think, is un-American. I believe it's unconstitutional.
And then there was Bob De Niro.
This guy should not be president, period.
And when you say that, folks on Fox come after you. I remember the Tonys when you got up there and cursed. A lot of of you. Okay, well, you know, this is cable, so it's not an FCC violation, but it is still a Sunday morning.
Well,
I do wonder why you choose to go that way.
Let me say something.
Why do you choose to go that way?
We are at a moment in our life, in this country, where this guy is like a gangster. He's come along and he's said things, done things we say over and over again. This is terrible. We're in a terrible situation. We're in a terrible situation. And this guy just keeps going on and on and on without being stopped.
Let's fit in a break. Let's squeeze in a commercial. More with Robert De Niro in just a moment.
De Niro, who took, you know, the less roundabout, more straight through Scottish type of response that I actually enjoy.
Right. And remember, he is the most boring interview. He used to sell his movies on Leno and Letterman, and it was like watching a WNBA game. You just were just bored to death.
Well, I think I don't understand why people are not taking him seriously, because you read about it historically in other countries that they didn't take the people seriously. I think Hitler, Mussolini, but they're fools and clowns. Well, there will be, and I hear it. There's some people. I mean, who who does not think that this guy is going to do exactly what he says he's going to do?
Right.
He's done it already. And then what? We're going to sit around and say, what? We told you so? Or whoever, I told you so? It's going to happen. If he gets elected, it's going to change this country for everybody. And they might think that it's going to make their life better, or they just want to, excuse my French, literally. Those people who support him with anger and hate, because that's what he's about, they're going to see. I mean, I used to see these things. I didn't understand how he and Rosie O'Donnell used to get it. Didn't really care. I see what a hateful, mean-spirited, awful thing he is.
He was vicious to her.
He's vicious. And why will he not do that in this country? He's already done it. Why would he not do? When I say I want to punch him in the face, it's because what he said to a person, a bystander or somebody in one of his rallies, he wants to punch him in the face. You don't talk that way to people. What kind of person does that?
Makes fun of the physically challenged. He makes fun of people who have physical challenges.
He's done that too. He's done everything.
The military. He says that people who go to war are losers. Wake up.
He's done everything. What more do you need? It's almost like he wants to do the worst that he could possibly do to show this country. His slogan.
Now, before we get to the accuracy of his statements, let's take a second to consider the hurt feelings of the MAGA contingent whenever a celebrity or notable figure speaks out against their fearless cult leader, where they usually will say things like DeNiro should stick to acting or Taylor Swift should stick to singing, all while simultaneously celebrating their newfound hero. That's right, a man known for kicking in a sport that is 99% throwing. Please don't get me started on the real football versus football thing. That's right, the right wing have found their new celebrity to follow in the trail blazed by the likes of Kid Rock and John Voight and that one guy who once was. As this man took to a podium in front of soon-to-be graduating students to warn women against ambition outside of the kitchen. No, I'm not kidding.
For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
And this is the hilarity of it all, right? The MAGA crowd claim to hate being spoken down to by rich elites out of touch with reality, whether it be Robert De Niro or Michael Douglas, while they attach their entire identity to a literal billionaire reality TV star, sending tweets about how if they can do this to me, they can do this to you, from the penthouse suite of his own building. Oh, but he's salt of the earth. He says what he wants. Man, if that guy is salt of the earth, then we are all set to die from cholesterol. He's literally known for being a reality TV star and a lifelong Democrat, by the way, until he realized that, well, one side of the political realm would be more willing to swallow his snake oil considering the fact that they did elect a movie star once to be president. That if someone like that could garner the support of the Bible Belt or lower to middle class, well, so could he. I mean, he could even stand on Fifth Avenue and shoot someone and still wouldn't lose any votes. I mean, of course I'm kidding. Nobody could say that and still... Oh, that's right.
My people are so smart. And you know what else they say about my people? The polls. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
It was a great business grift for a guy who went bankrupt several times. And yet, out of some misguided partisan loyalty, you're going to stick with him. I don't even know why you stick with him. He was a Democrat longer than he was a Republican. He wanted to run for president on the Reform Party. You guys have been taken over by an absolute con man. And now you're acting like members of a religious cult who don't even remember how you got in the first place.
So go ahead, lose your mind at the unmitigated gall of a rich celebrity actor using his platform to speak out against the possibility of authoritarianism in the near future. But make sure to not let it distract you from submitting your order for the latest Trump trading cards to make sure that you foot the bill of a literal billionaire as he faces his latest legal woes.
Robert DeNiro, a very low IQ individual, has received he spelled two wrong, many shots to the head by real boxers in movies. I watched him last night, truly believe he may be punch drunk, and then he says, at the end, he says, "Wake up, punchy," he says to you. And that's not the only time, and he moved over to Truth Social. Robert De Niro, whose acting talents have greatly diminished with his reputation now shot, must even use a teleprompter for his foul and disgusting language. So disrespectful to our country. Now, in all fairness to the former president, is that true? Do you have to use a teleprompter when speaking about President Trump? Or are you able to just kind of riff on your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's so stupid. Look at the lame, inane things that he said. He's so stupid, he can't even say anything clever or smooth. He's a moron. But he's a scary one. And in all seriousness, and we know it here, people have to get out and vote and vote and vote and vote.
Yeah. One time each.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.